I'm at the Bahrain International Circuit, about to do a track tour. So it'd be interesting to see what it looks like from these grandstands. We are going to be going into the paddock, doing a lap of the circuit, and also going up the Sakir Tower. Well, you certainly have an amazing view if you had a ticket in the main grandstand of this Grand Prix, because the grandstand is so close to the actual circuit itself. Look how close it is to the start and finish line, but also you can see it all the way down to turn 1. And if you had a grandstand seat in the turn 1 section, that would be brilliant as well. And then you'd be able to see it go all the way up to turns 2 and 3 with the DRS. Now let's go and have a look in the Sakir Tower, which is the main private viewing spot for the king and his royal family, friends and relatives. And what an amazing view you get of the whole circuit. You can see every single corner, including a fantastic unrestricted view of turn 1. And I love this little feature inside with the wall of champions, all the past winners, and the little details even in the lift of the circuit. The next part of the tour was a drive around the circuit led by the tour guide, and it's just fun to see when you're actually down on the track. It's much wider than it sometimes looks from the side. You don't realise quite how tight turn 1 is, but it's still quite open, so there's lots of opportunities for overtaking. But the curbs are much more serrated than you imagine, really vibrates when you go over them. Going up the next DRS straight, and again it's a very open corner, but it really opens up to the part of the track which goes off to the outer loop, which was also used in 2010, and that's where it joins back on there, an unpopular section. This next bit, you just don't get a sense of how much of a gradient there is. It's really going downhill into this braking zone, something you just don't see on TV. And also that very tight turn 12 hairpin, probably the tightest bit on a track. The final bit I found interesting, the little dirt track on the outside of the second to last corner. Afterwards, we were then taken into the paddock area, which is great to see behind the scenes where all the teams and drivers chill out. We went into race control, and it's amazing how technical the screens and the computers are there, so you can see every single part of the track and zoom in on each section so they can adjust and run the race effectively. So it's interesting sort of behind the scenes. I love that little montage for Charlie Whiting with a little honorary bit on the wall. We also went into the media centre, and it's just massive. It sort of seats almost 400 press and media. Overall, just lovely, clean, modern architecture and a really nice vibe. This is what is always amazing visiting different parts of the world. They don't seem to be quite so strict when it comes to, let's say, security and lacking access as a result of being able to visit places. So here I'm just walking up the stairs to the main grandstand. Imagine trying to do that at Silverstone. I doubt you'd be able to get very far. In fact, you can't even get to the gravel outside. But yeah, what a view this main grandstand has. And I think it's just like, they're very steep, all of the circuits in the Middle East. Bahrain, Abu Dhabi. I look forward to seeing what Qatar is like in terms of really being able to look down at the track and having a completely unrestricted view, no barriers or columns in the way from the awnings and the roof above. So it just makes it such a fantastic viewing position from almost any grandstand seat that you have. A really fun, if a little short, which is disappointing in a way because I could have just spent a whole day here, tour of a really fantastic facility, which is the Bahrain International Circuit. And for a track which is now actually 20 years old, it's amazing how it's still very much state-of-the-art compared to a lot of the other venues, especially in Europe. A really recommended visit if you're visiting Bahrain or staying in Manama.